Welcome to Luxuriously Poor, and I hope you guys are having a really blessed day. Now, I'm going to start with the recipe. I've never done this before, this way. I never liked how it turned out before. So I'm going to try different, and you're just going to need a couple ingredients. This is very easy and very inexpensive. I have two chicken thighs. That's it. I'm going to cut them into smaller pieces so that they will feed more. When things get really super bad and you've only got one or two pieces of chicken, you're going to have to think of different ways to do it. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm having my Nutter Butter cut it up into smaller pieces for me. It'll feed five. I think in the end it's going to give me five small pieces of chicken. But a small piece is better than none at all. It really is. And when it comes down to it, in the end, this may be exactly what we have to do. We may not have any other choice. Things are getting more expensive and harder to come by. Now, here they are, the smaller pieces. And I'm going to do something different with them. I'm going to pre-cook this a little bit. It's just, this is delicious. It's going to turn out so, so good. In the past, I didn't care for it because I felt it came out too greasy. And because the recipe is called chicken and rice. And in general, you use a whole chicken with it. Well, that's an awful lot of meat, and that's awful expensive. We don't have to have that much meat. We're going to have to learn to do with a lot less. Now, I'm going to put tomato on this, and I do not care for tomato chopped up necessarily. I don't like the skin on it. I prefer, if I'm going to put tomato in something, to do it this way. I think it comes out far better, and the major part of the skin is left intact. You're not going to have a whole lot of skin. Okay, this is the liquid from the tomato, and I am going to add something else to this. I'm going to add some olives. You can add sweet peas. Now, I'm pre-cooking the chicken. That's to cook some of the grease out of it and help get it done. This is the only olives I have, and I'm going to use them. I'm just going to chop them up in smaller pieces. If you throw the chicken into the rice, what will happen is your rice will end up far too greasy. And I don't think that gives it enough time to cook, really, to get it done. They call for a whole chicken and rice, and that is just far too much. And they do not call for you to pre-cook it, and I don't think it gets cooked good. As you can see, I've washed my rice. I'm going to throw my rice in the pan with about a tablespoon of fat. It's going to stick. Your rice will stick in the beginning. It really will. But you keep moving it and moving it, and that water will dry up. And you just want to cook this rice until it's slightly brown. You'll start to see a few pieces that'll turn brown, and that's all you want to do is just stir it until it's slightly brown. Now, it's ready, and I'm going to throw the tomatoes in there. I'm also going to throw the olives. At this point, you can throw your sweet peas if you use sweet peas instead. And I chopped up some onion. I chopped up red onion. You can use white, yellow, whatever kind you want. I also chopped up my my olives into smaller pieces because those olives were huge. Turmeric is the key to this. I do not use saffron. A lot of people do. I'm not paying 20 something dollars for two little strands of saffron. I use turmeric in the place of saffron in a lot of foods to make things look yellow, and that's what will make your rice look yellow in this case. The chicken I have cooked about, 20, 25 minutes on top of the stove. I put a lid on it because you want it to kind of steam. You want to get a lot of that grease out of the chicken. Add a teaspoon of salt to this. That's all you need. And I did put 3 cloves of garlic in this. Here's the chicken. I'm going to set it down in here. And that's all. It was 3 cloves of garlic, a half of an onion. Olives to your taste. You can use a whole small jar if you want. A whole can of peas. If you don't like olives, I do, and I like this better with olives than I do with peas. I've had it both ways. Now, then you put a lid on it, and what you want to do now is to turn the heat down. You add 2 cups of water to this pot because it's 1 cup of rice. And so the key to rice is 1 cup rice, 2 cups water. Turn your heat down low because you want this to cook slow. Your chicken is pretty much done. It is. There you go. This is the key to success. Awesomely delicious. Look at that. 2 chicken thighs, 1 cup of rice, and a few olives. Some onion, probably you have it on hand. A tomato, probably you have it on hand. If not, you don't put it. But here it is. You know, wisdom comes from God. It really does. And sometimes I really have had to pray and ask God for wisdom on things. I could never seem to get this right. When you put a whole chicken in it and you just stick it in the pot, it comes out far too greasy. And I never ran across a recipe that told you to cook the chicken first. And so I struggled to make it because it just didn't turn out right. But I had tried this as a kid and I really liked it, but I didn't know how the person had cooked it. And I never cared for any of the recipes. And a whole chicken just seemed like an awful lot of meat. And it's expensive. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you will try it. It's all about making something good from a whole lot less because the time is coming when we're not going to have very much at all. Well, God bless and have a blessed day.